Lamine Yamal. Nice curl!
Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal.
The winner this year is
Lamine Yamal.
I think he's a superstar.
First time in my life I saw someone, wow, who is it?
Right now, Lamine Yamal might just be the most terrifying talent in world football. He's scoring in massive games, embarrassing defenders twice his age, and doing it all with ice in his veins. Match after match, he's proving that the future of football isn't just bright, it's downright frightening. But don't let the flair and flashy footwork fool you. Behind the skills and stardom is a young kid fighting not just for glory, but for his family, his dreams, and everything he's ever believed in. This isn't just a Wonder Kid story, it's the jaw-dropping rise of football's next unstoppable force. Lamine Yamal was born in the small coastal town of Mataró in Catalonia, Spain, far from the bright lights of global football. But from a young age, it was clear there was something special about him. One of his earliest public moments came as a toddler, when he was featured in a commercial being bathed by none other than Lionel Messi. To most, it seemed like a random ad. But in hindsight, it feels almost prophetic, a symbolic passing of the torch. Even with these early signs, though, nothing about Yamal's path was easy. Life at home was complicated. His parents separated when he was just 3 years old, and both worked tirelessly to make ends meet. His father, a struggling painter, his mother, a waitress. They didn't have much, but they had hope. And in their household, that hope quickly became tied to football. Yamal's father had once dreamed of becoming a professional footballer himself, but the dream never materialized. Instead, he took on odd jobs to support his family. Still, when it became clear that his young son had extraordinary talent, he poured every ounce of himself into helping Lamine succeed, driving him to practices, cheering him on, and living out his own unfulfilled dream through his son. Growing up in Mataró, football was everything, and Yamal thrived in that environment. By the time he was just 4 years old, he joined CF La Torreta, and his impact was immediate. Within 3 years, scouts from across Spain were tracking his every move. By the age of 7, Yamal's raw talent was undeniable. He was playing at a level far beyond his age, dazzling everyone who saw him. It was only a matter of time before FC Barcelona came calling. Joining La Masia, Barcelona's famed youth academy, was a massive step forward, but it didn't mean Yamal had made it, not even close. He knew he'd have to fight to stand out in one of the most competitive environments in world football. What fueled him was not just ambition, but identity. On the back of his boots, Yamal proudly displays 3 flags: Morocco, his father's heritage; Equatorial Guinea, his mother's homeland; and Spain, where he was born and raised. Those flags tell his story of roots, struggle, and pride. At La Masia, Yamal wasn't just playing for himself. He was playing for his family, for the generations before him, and for the dreams of his father that now lived in him. As he progressed through the ranks, from pre-Benjamin to 11R, and eventually to Infantil B, the reviews never changed. This kid was extraordinary. He was also versatile, capable of playing up front, at left back, or in midfield, but it was on the right wing where he truly found his magic. Meanwhile, in the first team, manager Xavi Hernandez was breathing new life into the club, restoring its philosophy of trusting young talent. When Yamal was just 15, Xavi saw something so unique in him that he gave him the call-up to the senior team. Against all odds and despite his age, Lamine Yamal was ready, not just to debut, but to lead the next generation. Lamine Yamal made headlines when he was named on the bench for Barcelona's clash against Atletico Madrid, but the real moment came just a week later. At the tail end of the 2022 La Liga season, in a game against Real Betis, Yamal made his long-awaited debut for the first team. He was just 15 years old. That alone was historic. He became the youngest player ever to debut for Barcelona in an official match. For a club that prides itself on developing talent through La Masia, seeing a young face break through isn't rare. But Yamal's case was different. His age wasn't just young, it was unbelievably young. But there was no hesitation. Manager Xavi Hernandez, like the rest of the club, saw something rare in this kid. A spark, a maturity, and a talent that couldn't be denied. Despite the rising hype, Yamal remained grounded. Xavi often praised his humility and focus, noting that, even after his senior debut, Yamal was still the same soft-spoken kid from La Masia, always listening, always learning. That discipline earned him something more valuable than praise: trust. Xavi didn't just include him in the squad, he built around him, and the gamble paid off. As the 2023-24 season kicked off, Yamal began shattering records at a dizzying pace. In Barcelona's season opener against Cadiz, he became the youngest player in the 21st century to start a La Liga match, aged just 16 years and 38 days. But that was only the beginning. As the months passed, Lamine Yamal started breaking records. Across every competition, he became the youngest starter in a UEFA Champions League game, the youngest goalscorer in La Liga, and then, perhaps the biggest one of all, the youngest player ever to debut for Spain's senior national team in a Euro qualifier against Georgia, and he didn't just play, he scored. Becoming Spain's youngest ever goal scorer too, Yamal wasn't just playing for Barcelona anymore, he was changing the way the club operated. In the summer of 2023, when Ousmane Dembele left the club, Barcelona didn't rush to sign a replacement for the right wing. Why? Because they already had Lamine Yamal. They saw him not just as a player, but as the future of the club. In fact, his debut had been so monumental that it even forced Barcelona to navigate legal gray areas in Spanish labor laws, allowing a 15-year-old to appear in a public spectacle which, in this case, was a La Liga match. That's how far the club was willing to go. That's how special Lamine Yamal truly is. To be fair to Barcelona, one only needs to watch Lamine Yamal for a few minutes to understand why his debut came so early. In a modern football world dominated by robotic, system-trained wingers, Yamal is something entirely different, a generational outlier. Even at just 17 years old, he plays with a sense of control and confidence that feels unnatural for someone his age. He isn't boxed into taking one or two predictable touches. No, his play is fluid, spontaneous, and deeply intelligent. From his body feints, to his low center of gravity, to the way the ball sticks to his feet like it's magnetized. Watching him is like watching a street footballer with elite-level polish. He doesn't just move with the ball, he manipulates space, he dictates the tempo, and what's emerging now is a clear pattern in his style, a signature move that's becoming his trademark. Yamal operates as an inverted winger, starting wide on the right but always threatening to cut inside onto his magical left foot, and when he does, chaos follows. Take that unforgettable goal against Benfica. Yamal receives the ball, drifts in from the right, and then, almost effortlessly, curls it into the far post like it's nothing. The ease, the confidence, it makes the game look simple. But what he's doing is anything but. What makes Yamal truly dangerous is his unpredictability. Just when defenders think they've figured him out that he's going to cut inside again, he switches it up. With the outside of his left foot, he can whip in Traveler-style crosses or disguise passes that even seasoned defenders struggle to read. And then there's the truly staggering part. It's not about how he's doing it, it's who he's doing it against. Lamine Yamal is just 17, yet he's pulling off these dribbles, these feints, these elite-level decisions against grown men, experienced, hardened defenders who are often nearly twice his age. And still, he makes them look like training cones. Whether it's in tight spaces, under pressure from multiple markers, or on the big stage against giants like Bayern Munich, Yamal shows no fear. His movement is so fluid, it's as if he's going through cone drills mid-match, except the cones are professional defenders desperately trying to stop him. And now, his confidence is sky-high. You can see it in the way defenders respond to him, either backing off to avoid being embarrassed, or desperately calling for a second defender to double up. He's no longer just a promising talent, he's become a problem for defenders across Europe. But to fully understand how Yamal has evolved into this monster of a winger, you have to look at the man behind the system, the coach, the tactics, and the structure that allowed him to grow. Because talent like Yamal's doesn't just shine, it needs the right environment to explode. And this season, it's clear, Yamal has both the talent and the tactical support to become one of football's brightest stars. The arrival of Hansi Flick at Barcelona didn't just signal a new chapter for the club. It opened an entirely new, and frankly, more terrifying, path for Lamine Yamal, because what Flick is building isn't just about possession or pressing. It's about unlocking the full potential of his wide players. And Yamal is right at the heart of that vision. Unlike traditional wingers, Flick doesn't believe in a one-size-fits-all role. Under his tactical blueprint, every wide forward has a custom job. On the left, Rafinha often operates as a classic winger or hybrid forward, stretching play or cutting inside when needed. But on the right flank, Lamine Yamal has been handed something far more dangerous: the inverted winger role with complete creative freedom. This means you'll often see him hugging the touchline, dragging defenders wide, isolating them one-on-one, and daring them to stop him. Yes, we all know what he's about to do. He's going to cut inside on that magical left foot, but it doesn't matter. Defenders know it's coming, and they still can't stop it. Why? Because it's not just about the move, it's about the setup. Flick's system is built to create those moments. Yamal gets the ball where he's most dangerous, in space, against a fullback, with options all around him. And now, he's not just dribbling, he's scoring and creating at elite levels. As of this recording, Yamal has racked up a staggering 14 goals and 21 assists in just 43 games. Ridiculous numbers for any winger, let alone one who's still in his teens. It's a direct result of the fluid attacking structure Flick has introduced. The system thrives on chemistry, not just between the front three, but across the entire midfield. Whether it's Pedri, Gundo, or De Jong, the understanding with Yamal is seamless. These aren't just passes, they're patterns, synchronized moves. Every run, Every touch feels rehearsed, like jazz played at full speed. And yet, even when teams focus solely on shutting down Yamal, trying to double, or even triple team him, it often backfires. That kind of over-attention collapses their shape, opens up space for Lewandowski or Rafinha, and lets Barcelona punish you from multiple angles. In this system, marking Yamal too tightly becomes a trap, one that Flick fully exploits. It's also important to note, Yamal doesn't stay static. While he starts out wide, his game is fluid. You'll often see him dropping deep to collect the ball, or even drifting into central areas to find pockets of space, becoming an unpredictable, positionless threat. And when that happens, good luck marking him. Let's be real, this isn't just a breakout season. This is the emergence of a future icon. The current Golden Boy winner is already showing signs of becoming a once-in-a-generation talent. And the scariest part, he's not close to his ceiling yet. With Flick's tactical system, the freedom he's been given, and the confidence he's playing with, the only question left is how high can Lamine Yamal go? Right now, it's not just Barcelona fans who are watching. The whole footballing world is paying attention, because what we're witnessing isn't hype. It's history in the making.